We are going to discuss why you may regret moving to Maine unless you can handle several negatives that I'll point out in this video. It may seem like everyone, including the media, wants to tell you how awesome Maine is. And it can be, but there are some important negatives to know about as well. We'll run through several of the more serious issues in this video. If you're thinking about investing in a home in Maine, you want to ensure you obtain full disclosure before you invest. I'm going to give it to you. If you're new to this channel, my name is Michael Patterson and my partner and daughter is Margaret Patterson. We are your local real estate agents with eXp Realty. If you want to learn more about what it's like living in Maine, either inland or along the coast, in specific towns, then this channel is for you. Go ahead and subscribe to ensure you don't miss any of our videos. Leave a comment down below if you have valuable input or a differing opinion, and please be constructive. Margaret and I get calls almost every day from people like you asking about the market, the weather, and other aspects of Maine. We love hearing from you. So if you have a question, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we'll get right back to you. So here we go, let's get into it. First, if you're coming from the west or down south, you need to be prepared for a Maine winter. If you search Google for, quote, living in Maine, most pictures show cute coastal towns, colorful fall days, and some lobster or lake homes. But you'll rarely see pictures representing the winter, as that's not our popular tourist season. The truth is that Maine weather is cold and rainy for several months of the year. Let's get into the specifics. After the summer, which most people love, fall brings cooler weather, prompting many of us to prepare for winter. This includes raking the yard, pruning the shrubs, closing up the pool, and winterizing summer toys like boats and motorcycles. It's a yearly ritual that can feel quite sad. Additionally, the trees and plants are dormant for 6 months, meaning they lose their leaves or turn brown, giving some neighborhoods a haunted feeling. Fall leads to winter, which lasts about 3 to 4 months. Many Mainers complain about the snow, although I love it, and I'll explain why in a moment. But first, let's discuss why many struggle with the non-summer months. In Maine, not only are the trees and plants leafless for half the year, but the sky is often gray, leading to overcasts and less sun. During storms, people often rush to the grocery stores for supplies because snow and ice storms can lead to several days without power, which usually means no internet, even with a generator. If you work from home, storms can be a major downside, especially without a generator. From my experience, power and internet outages happen several times a year in most areas of Maine, even during the summer, sometimes lasting several days. Here's a tip. If you're going to spend winters in Maine, it's best to embrace the season. After a snow or ice storm, weather often comes up in conversations, and I frequently hear, "I'd be great if only it would stop snowing," indicating a dislike for winter. Personally, I love the snow because I get to use my snowblower, play with my bunny in the snow, and catch up on projects. Winter storms can be a great excuse to tackle pending tasks. Without outdoor activities, you might find yourself surfing the web or just sitting around, making winter feel even longer. Embrace winter by skiing, renting snowmobiles, visiting ice fishers on the lake, playing indoor pickleball, ice skating, or trying a winter camping trip in a cabin. These activities not only keep you engaged, but also help you appreciate the unique beauty and opportunities that winter in Maine offers. Complaints about the snow are common, which can bring you down, so embrace it and respond to complainers by expressing your love for the snow and your excitement for winter activities. If not, you'll end up indoors all winter learning to hate it. Ensure your comfort by having a generator and plenty of propane for power outages. And try to laugh every time you reset all the clocks in your house. After winter comes spring, which can be worse than winter for some people because it's cold and lacks snow for activities. Melting snow creates mud on dirt roads, and it tends to rain a lot. They say April showers bring May flowers, and the rain in spring builds anticipation for what's to come. It's time to store snowmobiles and ski equipment and prepare for the first signs of plant life like forsythia and daffodils. Trees start to blossom and it gets beautiful, but it's still rainy and cold, leading to overcast skies. As soon as the rain ends, pollen becomes a problem, causing issues for those with allergies and making a mess of vehicles. Be cautious about leaving windows open, as pollen can cover everything with a fine yellow dust, creating more spring cleanup. Spring is also a time when many Mainers start their gardening and outdoor projects, which can be both a blessing and a curse. While it's exciting to see new growth and flowers, the constant rain and mud make these tasks more challenging. Moreover, the fluctuating temperatures mean that you might be dealing with frost one day and warm sunshine the next, making it hard to plan your activities. Don't forget about the mosquitoes, black flies, and no-see-ums that emerge in late spring. You'll likely get bitten, and these insects carry serious diseases. I'll get into that shortly. Summer, which follows spring, is very short, about 2 to 3 months, depending on how far north you live. Scheduling doctors and contractors can be hard because everyone takes vacations. Beautiful coastal towns get flooded with tourists, which I'll discuss later. Summer is almost everyone's favorite season, so schedules fill up with activities with friends and family. Despite the short duration, summer in Maine is packed with events, festivals, and outdoor activities. It's a time when everyone tries to make the most of the warm weather, leading to crowded beaches, busy parks, and booked up accommodations. So that's the weather in a nutshell. Remember, winter is long and summer is short. Embrace the seasons or they will bring you down. The second con, which can also be a pro, is the wildlife and insects. Many ponds and rivers have leeches, but they can be removed with salt. The ocean has jellyfish that can sting, and in the winter, older homes often deal with mice. Deer, coyotes, and foxes can also be a nuisance, eating gardens and farm animals like sheep and young pigs or goats. Warmer climates bring tick-borne illnesses like Lyme disease and the Powassan virus, as well as mosquito-borne diseases such as the Jamestown Canyon virus, Eastern equine encephalitis virus, West Nile virus, and meningitis. If not treated early, these diseases can be fatal. When enjoying sunny days, the CDC recommends wearing long sleeves and pants, using an EPA-approved repellent on skin and clothes, taking extra precautions at dusk and dawn when mosquitoes are most active, using screens on windows and doors, regularly draining any standing water where mosquitoes lay eggs, such as bird baths, dog bowls, buckets, and children's toys. And make sure you take steps to prevent mosquito bites when traveling. The presence of wildlife also means that you need to be cautious about your pets and small children. Coyotes and foxes, for example, can pose a threat to pets left unattended in the yard. It's important to keep a close eye on your pets and ensure they are safe, especially during the evening and early morning hours are most active. Sorry guys, don't shoot the messenger. I love it here in Maine, as shown in the content in many of our other videos. If you're serious about investing in property in Maine, download a free copy of our relocation guide. Inside, you'll find information on many towns in Southern Maine, helping you compare and contrast the different areas. You'll find a link below. Let's move on to con number 3, and make sure you subscribe and like this video if you find it informative. Con number 3, Maine is not a business-friendly state. Let me show you this ranking report from Maine Jobs Council, which commissioned a state of our state's national rankings using criteria reflecting economic and demographic standing. Look at the last entry. Maine ranks last for property taxes and percentage of people over 65. This contrasts with the next lowest ranking, 49th for infrastructure and the percentage of the population under 18. Young people are leaving Maine. Maine ranks 48th for regulatory environment and overall taxes, and 47th and 42nd in categories indicating a lack of business venture investment loans. What's happening to Maine? I can tell you from experience. I started a software company, grew it to almost 80 employees, and sold it in 2018. My attorneys often mention that Maine favors employees when it comes to disputes and unemployment, making it hard to stay competitive nationally. This caption shows several Maine companies sold to out-of-state organizations, resulting in the highest paid jobs being eliminated and management handled out of state, which happened to my software company. In 2024, Forbes Advisor analyzed 18 key metrics across 5 categories to determine the best and worst states to start a business. Maine placed 45 out of 50 states. I'll put a link to these sources in the description down below. Some believe our state government contributes to the problem by focusing on being a vacation state rather than a place to start a company. Tourist season is largely only 2 months in Maine, but we attract many out-of-staters buying up homes, driving up real estate prices, and forcing young native Mainers to move west in search of affordable housing. I'll talk about that in a minute. Most Mainers appreciate out-of-state investments, but out-of-staters typically don't live here year-round, causing several other problems. One of these problems is con number 4, out-of-state influence. If you're unaware, Maine's economy is largely driven by money made along the seacoast and south of Bar Harbor. Seacoast towns are packed with tourists and traffic for 2 to 3 months per year, creating a feast or famine business cycle. Locals get upset because they can't live in their town as they did 30 years ago. While this is the wrong attitude, tourists drive our state's largest industry. Despite this, locals still get upset because out-of-state influence causes problems beyond traffic congestion. Before I explain in more detail, I don't want you to dismiss me as a disgruntled local. I spend a lot of time in Florida as an out-of-stater or tourist. Although I was born in Maine, my wife is from Massachusetts, and I've spent a lot of time out of Maine. I'm simply sharing compiled information with the sources in the description down below. In Maine, town governments are learning that out-of-staters don't want Maine to change. Once they buy real estate here, they resist new businesses setting up shop and changing their area. Some out-of-staters don't want Maine to experience the changes their native states faced, showing good intentions. However, they often attend town meetings and petition against new businesses, which can hurt locals. Let's move on to con number 5, the high cost of living in Maine. According to Forbes Advisor, Maine ranks 35 out of 50 states for disposable income and 26 out of 50 for average annual wage. Again, I'll link this report in the description down below. We rank 37th for average transportation costs and 18th for highest real estate costs. This makes it difficult for typical Mainers to afford homes in Maine. Our state ranks 17th in total annual food costs and 9th in the highest healthcare costs. The Bangor Daily News reported that for the first time in at least 2 decades, owning a home is not affordable for a household earning the median income in any of Maine's 16 counties. Check out this comparison of the cost of living indexes across major Maine cities compared to the national average. Calculations are based on energy, food, healthcare, housing, and transportation costs, among other factors. In all but one city, the cost of living in Maine has increased by almost 20% over the national average. With a median salary lower than the national average and a significantly higher cost of living, it's clear why Maine's focus on tourism is hurting this state. Finally, let's discuss con number 6. Child abuse in Maine is alarmingly high, likely a result of many factors previously mentioned. In the 2023 Kids Count data book, 19 per 1,000 children in Maine are reportedly abused or neglected. Over 4,200 children were abused in 2020. And in 2021, Somerset and Waldo counties had the highest rates of child abuse and neglect, with almost 30 per 1,000 children affected. These areas have fewer vacationers and out-of-staters. In contrast, Cumberland County, with many out-of-staters, reported 8 cases of child abuse per 1,000 children. The high rates of child abuse are deeply concerning and reflect broader social issues. Economic hardship, substance abuse, and inadequate social services contribute to this problem. It's crucial for the state to address these underlying issues to protect its most vulnerable residents. Additionally, the strain on social services mean that many children and families do not receive the support they need. Overworked and underfunded agencies struggle to keep up with the demand, leading to gaps in healthcare and intervention. This can perpetuate a cycle of abuse and neglect, with long-term consequences for the affected children and the broader community. Despite these issues, the natural beauty of Maine cannot be overstated. From the stunning coastline to the picturesque mountains, there are countless outdoor activities to enjoy year-round. Hiking, fishing, boating, and skiing are just a few of the activities that draw people to Maine. The state parks and conservation areas offer residents and visitors a chance to connect with nature and enjoy the tranquility of the great outdoors. Maine is also known for its strong sense of community. Neighbors look out for each other, and there's a genuine sense of camaraderie among the residents. Whether it's helping out during a storm or coming together for a local event, the people of Maine take pride in their communities and work to maintain a supportive and welcoming environment. Furthermore, Maine's commitment to education and public health is commendable. The state has several top-rated schools and universities. These efforts contribute to a higher quality of life for residents and help build a strong foundation for future generations. All these factors make Maine a unique and desirable place to live. Despite the challenges, it's important to weigh the pros and cons carefully before making a decision to move here. Understanding both the positive aspects and the potential drawbacks will help you make an informed choice and ensure that Maine is the right fit for you and your family. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this information helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content about living in Maine. Don't forget to download our relocation guide for detailed information on various towns and cities across the state. And if you want to learn more about what it's like to live in Maine, make sure you watch this next video.